Max Verstappen will continue to drive for Red Bull Racing for the time being. The Dutchman had the option of leaving the squad where he made his debut in 2016, but doing so would necessitate Helmut Marko to depart as well. Meanwhile, the Red Bull advisor's contract has been modified, thereby eliminating Verstappen's condition. A move to Mercedes is thus no longer in the cards, at least not for now, as behind the scenes there is a lot going on regarding Verstappen and a possible move to Mercedes. Before we dive in, do you see this happening in the future, and would you like to see it? So, it's guaranteed that Verstappen will continue to drive for Red Bull Racing in 2025, whereas Mercedes had to consider another alternative. George Russell's teammate next year will be young Italian Kimi Antonelli. The German team's youngster, who is competing in Formula 2 this year, made his Formula 1 debut 2 weeks ago during the first free practice session for the Italian Grand Prix, crashing Russell's W15 in just 15 minutes. It's certainly fantastic news for Antonelli, but the Verstappens will quietly lament not being able to force a trade to Mercedes. According to Helmut Marko, Jos Verstappen is particularly upset about this, as his relationship with Red Bull chief Christian Horner is just not good. The Limburger would like to collaborate with Toto Wolff rather than Christian Horner, but such collaboration will be impossible for the time being, according to Helmut Marko. He wouldn't be a good team boss if he didn't try to get Max, Marko said. Monte Carlo does not have many coffee shops. It is normal to run into each other, and of course Toto makes stories out of it. And on the other hand, Jos Verstappen is a bigger fan of Toto than of Christian Horner. However, the Austrian feels that this will not have an impact on Max Verstappen's career. The three-time world champion will just stay with Red Bull and devote his complete attention to that. At the moment, Max is focused on winning the championship. The team is focused to win this championship. And we have to look forward. And in 2026, there will be new rules. Nobody knows who will be at the front then. But for now, everything is clear. Max will drive for Red Bull Racing next season. We have to give him a car he can win with. And then all these rumours will stop immediately, Marko ended with. But is it really that way? It at least seems so for now. As Toto Wolff, Mercedes team boss, has also stated that the flirting with Max Verstappen has concluded, and that the company's future drivers would be George Russell and Andrea Kimi Antonelli in F1 2025. Wolff made his admiration for Verstappen clear, revealing that he had decided to promote the 17-year-old Italian from Formula 2 5 minutes after learning Hamilton was leaving for Ferrari, despite the fact that discussions about a switch came to a halt. With Verstappen's relationship with Red Bull appearing more strained than it has in the previous decade, Wolff left the door open for a possible switch for the multiple world champion. However, as the Dutch driver backed away from that opportunity, the Austrian team boss committed to the Italian junior. Wolff spoke to reporters at Monza after Antonelli was confirmed for F1 2025, acknowledging contacts with the Verstappen camp, but stating that he had no second thoughts about what would have been possible, and that he has left his options open for 2026 if Antonelli does not work out. I made up my mind 5 minutes after Lewis Hamilton told me that he's going to Ferrari, Wolff said. Obviously, we were discussing other options, and also kept the Max idea. We didn't discount it completely with looking at what happened at Red Bull, but instinctively, that is the lineup with these two that I always wanted. Bearing in mind the fast tracking that we did with Kimi and everything related thereto, but that was immediately what I wanted to do. Wolff believes the news suggests Mercedes has decided on Russell and Antonelli as its driver lineup for the foreseeable future, but Mercedes has been evasive about the Italians' contractual obligations. These two are the future, Wolff explained. They have been and will be Mercedes drivers, and therefore we have contracts with George and Kimi that go much longer, that are very complicated in terms of options, etc. This is a pressure cooker, but this is where we stand as a team today. We want to go with these two. The most important thing is to see how George and Kimi settle in, and I see no reason at that stage not giving them the faith and the trust of going forward. What that means for the terms is something that we will discuss between ourselves, But we wouldn't have gone for the lineup with these two if we wouldn't believe 100% that they are the best choice for Mercedes. That also means that any Verstappen speculation can be put on hold, and Wolff has stated that he would not entertain second thoughts if the Dutchman becomes available next year. What I appreciated in dealing with them, Verstappen's team, it's just very straightforward, Wolff clarified. I don't flirt outside. I've always said it. I got maybe caught out by the Lewis situation, but I've not entertained any discussions with any drivers when giving it all from the team to make it a success. This is why all of our focus in the team is on George and Kimi, and that's what I also said. There's no discussion, there's no second thoughts about what are doing in 2026, because now it's about 2024 and 2025. Wolff added that if he has discussions with other drivers over the next 12 months, his present drivers would be aware of such conversations. If flirting outside happens, then these guys, Antonelli and Russell, will know it at the same time, he said. When we have those discussions, I've always been very open. This might seem straightforward and all, and maybe even honest at this point, but the idea remains. If Verstappen is available, Toto Wolff would not say no to him. So who has to go? Who stays to form the super team with Verstappen at Mercedes if the opportunity arises? This question also came up within Sky Sports, and one former Mercedes driver has warned George Russell of an indefinite future with Mercedes, as Nico Rosberg stated his seat with the Silver Arrows is not safe at all. That assertion was in reference to Mercedes manager Toto Wolff's pursuit of Max Verstappen, but Mercedes has invested in the future by designating 18-year-old academy graduate Kimi Antonelli as the successor to 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, who will join Ferrari in F1 2025. And despite the fact that the team missed out on the reigning 3-time world champion for F1 2025, Rosberg, who won his only world championship with Mercedes in 2016 and retired shortly after, believes the Verstappen to Mercedes scenario is still alive. Rosberg believes such a move may signal disaster for Russell. George Russell is not safe at all because Toto still wants Max, and he will try again for 2026 because give up does not appear in Toto's vocabulary, said Sky F1 pundit Rosberg. If Max does become available, and I do think it's a possibility, then it is a shootout between George and Kimi next year. And it's a lot of pressure on George because he has everything to lose, really, next year. He should be the one ahead internally because Kimi is 18 and he's completely new and in a full pressure situation. It's not an easy situation there for George. However, Russell is not allowing such ideas to penetrate his head. He considers himself a Mercedes driver for the indefinite future. It's something we've not spoken about at all, to be honest, Russell said ahead of Antonelli's confirmation. I've been with this team for so long. I'm managed by Mercedes, and we've always said we will be continuing together for the indefinite future. There's a lot of conversations going on which are quite entertaining to read, but from my side, I'm not focused on any of that. I'm just focused on my driving. Russell recently received a significant boost, with Wolff admitting that the flirting with the Verstappen camp had ended, and that he was ready to push full steam ahead with the Russell-Antonelli partnership. But will this stay the same in the near future? What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And don't forget to subscribe for daily Formula One content.